From the Cronkite Studios in downtown Phoenix, this is Cronkite News.
He's back. Donald Trump making his 6th appearance in Arizona today. We go to Prescott Valley following his rally.
And new funding making these rape kits possible throughout Maricopa County. Plus,
these individuals bring the same dedication, hard work, and skill to their athletic endeavors that they bring to the finest fighting force the world has ever known.
A look at Olympians who are taking gold in much more than sports.
Cronkite News starts now.
Good evening and welcome to Cronkite News on Arizona PBS. I'm Alex Capriello.
And I'm Alexis Ducrath. Thank you for joining us. Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump continues his effort to try and win the Arizona vote.
Trump took the stage today at the Prescott Valley Event Center in front of what was a full house. We now go live to Veronica Acosta, who is at the rally. Veronica?
Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump spoke today just after 2 p.m. He said there were about 15,000 to 20,000 people here for his rally, many of them outside watching from big screens. Inside, Trump was interrupted several times by hecklers before they were escorted out. He also paused several times as the enthusiastic crowd chanted USA. He talked about everything from U.S.-Mexico trade policies to his recent endorsements, and he thanked his supporters, Sheriff Joe Arpaio, former Governor Jan Brewer, and the people of Arizona.
In 35 days, we are going to win this state, and we are going to win back the White House. We're going to make America rich again. We're going to make America rich again. I'm going to end illegal immigration, stop the massive inflow of refugees, keep the jobs from pouring out of our country. They're going one way, and it's only out.
It was warm in the arena and one person did pass out, but Donald Trump did call for medical treatment for him. He said the man looked like a, quote, tough guy. In Prescott Valley, Veronica Acosta, Cronkite News.
Many in support of the Republican candidate, but protesters gathered in Prescott Valley as well.
One group called an informal and impromptu press conference, giving their anti-Trump message and supporting diversity in America.
He is the result of the generations of oppression that this country is built on. We are here fighting. We are here fighting to change that.
Our Cronkite News reporters outside the rally spoke to many attendees, finding out why they were in attendance and sharing their stories on Twitter. Veronica Acosta spoke to Trump supporter Debbie Larison this morning, who said, "We believe he really wants to make the country great again." Reporter Bree Casavella spoke to this protester, who was the first one outside the rally. 65-year-old Barbara Gold made the sign that reads, "Oh, Hill, yes." Reporter Hope Flores caught up with Trump supporter Lucy Hill and her son while they were waiting for Trump to take the stage. She says, "I want to show that there's a Hispanic mom, a female that loves Trump." Trump is in Arizona today, but Hillary Clinton continuing her campaign across the country.
Clinton is in Haverford, Pennsylvania today discussing many issues including violence and law enforcement.
We've got to do more to reform the criminal justice system. There are so many good, honorable police officers. They need our support. They need our backing.
Clinton also discussed issues on the female image and again attacked Trump by bringing up his comments on Miss Universe's appearance. As both Trump and Clinton continue their campaigns, it's the vice presidential candidates in the spotlight tonight.
Mike Pence and Tim Kaine take the stage tonight in Longwood University in Virginia for their only debate. CBS News' Elaine Quijano will moderate the debate, the first Asian American to do so. The 90-minute debate will follow the same format as the presidential debates, starting with a question with 2 minutes to respond for each candidate and debate to follow. The main difference in the format is that the candidates will be seated at a table with the moderator rather than at podiums. The debate gets underway here on Arizona PBS at 6 o'clock. Coverage continues with a special PBS News Hour with instant analysis. Then at 8, a special Arizona Horizon where local political experts will discuss the issues pertaining to Arizona.
Democratic U.S. Senate nominee Ann Kirkpatrick is giving her thoughts on the presidential election today. Reporter Jesse Canales has the details.
While Donald Trump is in Prescott Valley, Democratic women leaders speak out in Phoenix.
Arizona is a state that has strong women leaders, and we've had throughout our history.
They spoke out against what they called Trump's disrespectful treatment of women.
He has a horrible record on his treatment and comments towards women. Donald Trump's had plenty of opportunity to back down on the words he said, and he's chosen not to.
Including his remarks about a former Miss Universe winner.
It's unacceptable for his comments on, Alicia Machado. It is insulting for him to consider women as, non-productive.
Trump has argued he never intended to insult all women, just those that attacked him. Democratic U.S. Senate candidate Ann Kirkpatrick says Trump has created a sexist message for this presidential race.
I don't want that to be the message in this presidency, but Donald Trump has made that what this race is about.
The lasting message the women wanted to convey at today's event is, if you don't agree with Trump's comments about women, then go out and vote. In Phoenix, Jessica Nolles, Cronkite News.
Senator John McCain released a statement today regarding the visit that 2 U.S. warships made to Vietnam this week. This was the first time that U.S. warships were at Cam Ranh Bay, a Vietnamese naval base, since the U.S. and Vietnam resumed diplomatic relations. In a statement, Senator John McCain said, "I look forward to again visiting Vietnam in the near future to further advance our growing economic and security relationship." The 2 U.S. Senate candidates will face each other in a debate on October 10th. The debate, sponsored by Arizona PBS and the Arizona Republic, will be live on the Cronkite News Facebook page, azcentral.com, and Arizona PBS.
No matter the result of the elections, the campaign signs scattered across the state have to go. This group recycles them to make sure they aren't left as litter. Keep Phoenix Beautiful, a nonprofit, is turning these signs into something more at Steel Indian School Park. Campaign signs and even the rebar that holds them up are collected. They are used in a 15-acre community garden to help control grass. They are also put at the base of garden beds and are covered with mulch and used as walkways.
Campaign signs litter every single intersection in the city, and after the election on November 8th, what are you going to do with them? Either they end up in the garbage, going into the landfill, and those things take forever to decompose, or we can do something with them here.
After the November 8th election, signs can be dropped off at the garden at the park.
Toll roads are used on freeways all over the West, from California to Colorado.
But Arizona does not use them yet.
Coming up on Cronkite News, a new proposed project could force drivers to start paying to use certain freeways.
And new federal grants could help law enforcement solve sexual assault cases faster.
5 terms in the Senate, 3 terms in the House, 2 figureheads of Arizona politics, 1 debate before Election Day. Arizona PBS and the Arizona Republic bring you the 2016 U.S. Senate debate for the state of Arizona. Republican Senator John McCain and Democratic Representative Ann Kirkpatrick face to face on the future of our state, our nation, our world. McCain versus Kirkpatrick, the 2016 U.S. Senate debate for the state of Arizona, Monday, October 10th at 7 p.m. here on Arizona PBS.
I think I finally found my hallelujah. I've been waiting for this moment all my life now. All my dreams are coming true. I've been waiting for this moment. It's good to be alive right about now. Now.
Tickets are now available for the annual Walter Cronkite Award for Excellence in Journalism Luncheon, held Monday, November 21st at the Sheraton Grand Phoenix. Join media industry and community leaders in honoring this year's recipient, award-winning journalist and CBS Evening News anchor Scott Pelley. The annual Walter Cronkite Award for Excellence in Journalism Luncheon. Cronkite.asu.edu/luncheon.
Problems continue for veterans looking for care at the Phoenix VA hospital. A Veterans Affairs report issued today found staff inappropriately canceled appointments throughout 2015, more than a year after problems at the hospital triggered a national outcry for better care. Meanwhile, the backlog of specialty appointments actually increased. The report says constant turnover in leadership is partially to blame. Cronkite News will be there tomorrow when the hospital welcomes its newest director, Rima Ann Nelson.
New federal grants to Maricopa County Attorney's Office and the Phoenix Police Department will be used to test sexual assault evidence for DNA. The Justice Department granted $1.2 million to the Maricopa County Attorney's Office and $1.5 million to the Phoenix Police Department. County Attorney Bill Montgomery says his office will use its grant money to analyze previously untested evidence for investigation and prosecution. And Assistant Police Chief Mary Roberts says Phoenix will use its funding for steps supporting the city's policy for testing all sex crime evidence. Roberts says DNA evidence isn't needed in all individual sexual assault cases due to specific circumstances of those cases, but she says test results can still help link defendants to other cases.
Arizona Governor Doug Ducey heads to Canada today as part of a 4-day economic development mission. Ducey will work with government officials and business leaders from Montreal to Toronto to highlight Arizona's attractive lifestyle and business climate. The Arizona Commerce Authority says Arizona's annual trade totals more than $3.8 billion, and 1 in 20 jobs across the state come as part of that trade relationship. There are over 300 Canadian businesses operating in Arizona. The relationship with Canada goes beyond trade and business. More than 1 million visitors come south each year. 75% of all international travelers going through Sky Harbor International Airport are Canadians, taking one of 125 plus flights a week between the state and Canadian cities.
For the first time in 8 years, Tucson residents can catch a flight directly to Mexico. The first flight to Hermosillo left Tucson International Airport yesterday, and flights into Tucson are expected to boost the city's economy. Airline Aeromar will run 1 flight in and out of Tucson 4 days a week to Hermosillo using a 46-passenger plane. The plane will then stop at 3 other cities after, including Los Mochis, Mazatlan, and Guadalajara.
The Arizona Department of Transportation is considering creating a toll road in Metro Phoenix to alleviate traffic on the I-10. Officials proposed a 6-lane freeway called State Route 30, which would go south of I-10 and run parallel to it from Loop 303 to the new 202 South Mountain Freeway. The new freeway is on a list of long-term projects, but it has no set start date and has no secured funding. ADOT is studying the possibility of making the highway a toll road, but a Maricopa Association of Governments officials says it will take time to determine whether that would provide enough money to move the project forward. Universal Technical Institute is struggling with a decline in enrollment.
But the school is finding new recruiting methods to spur admission growth. Coming up on Cronkite News, what new partnerships the school is making.
Temperatures around the valley are finally cooling off, and residents on the East Coast preparing for a Category 4 storm. I have the details on Hurricane Matthew and your weekend forecast coming up next.
The confidence to lead our country.
This isn't reality television.
I feel like Hamilton reached out from history and wouldn't let me go until I told his story.
I make no apology for my actions. I would do the same again.
How we come so far and yet have so far to go.
Right there, coming up.
In 1920s Melbourne,
careful with the hand luggage. My pistol's in there somewhere and it may still be loaded.
Phryne Fisher is a detective.
Things could get interesting around here.
Thought they already were.
Who isn't afraid to live a little.
I hope you're not concealing a dangerous weapon under that skirt.
I'm concealing a lot of things.
Why do you think you can just run off on your own?
Because I'm carrying a gun.
The irresistible series, Miss Fisher's Murder Mysteries.
Saturday night at 10 on Arizona PBS.
Finally found my hallelujah. I've been waiting for this moment all my life now. All my dreams are coming true, yeah. I've been waiting for this moment. It's good to be alive right about now. Good to be alive right about now. finally found It's good to be alive right about now.
Tickets are now available for the annual Walter Cronkite Award for Excellence in Journalism Luncheon, held Monday, November 21st at the Sheraton Grand Phoenix. Join media industry and community leaders in honoring this year's recipient, award-winning journalist and CBS Evening News anchor Scott Pelley. The annual Walter Cronkite Award for Excellence in Journalism Luncheon. cronkite.asu.edu/luncheon.
Universal Technical Institute, an automotive technical school based in the Valley, is coming up with creative ways to bounce back from bad enrollment numbers. Cronkite News reporter Alicia Gonzalez tells us how.
Every night when I would go home after I was done with homework and work and all that stuff, I would just start wrenching on my car. And one day it kind of clicked that this is what I really should be doing.
Daniel Stockard is turning his passion into a career. And Universal Technical Institute needs more students like him. UTI is struggling with financial losses and declining in enrollment, according to the most recent filings of the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission. But the school is increasing the number of partnerships with car dealerships nationwide as one element of broader efforts to attract students to the school.
Obviously, when you're trying to make an educational decision of where you want to go, it makes sense to go to where the jobs are and the relationships are. And that's what we pride ourselves on.
Car dealerships are offering to pay for top-notch UTI students' loans once they graduate. But not all students are even interested in tuition reimbursement.
They can pay off your student loans, but if the business isn't necessarily busy, you might not have an adequate paycheck. So I think having the amount of service that like my dealership has might outweigh that benefit.
Mechanical technicians aren't just turning wrenches anymore. Today, they spend as much time as they are underneath the car fixing simple parts like this as they are running technical diagnostics on cars like this one.
When you look at the science and the technology and engineering and math, it's in every aspect of a vehicle from the front bumper to the back bumper.
Michael Romano said the demand for mechanical technicians is high and will continue to grow since our nation relies on them to keep our transportation industry alive and running. In Avondale, Alicia Gonzalez, Cronkite News.
The City of Phoenix will celebrate International Walk to School Day tomorrow. Mayor Greg Stanton will join Street Transportation Department leaders and more than 1,000 students in walking to school events. They will be gathering at Orme Park tomorrow morning before they walk to Justin Spitalny and Glen L. Downs elementary schools.
Grand Canyon National Park is preparing for the North Rim winter shutdown. Park officials say visitor services will begin closing in mid-October. The last chance to catch a trail ride at the North Rim is October 15th, but visitors will be able to reserve campsites through the end of October. Some services, such as gas and diesel, will continue through November, but all North Rim operations will close for the season December 1st. As the Grand Canyon preps for the winter season, residents on the East Coast are preparing for a Category 4 storm later this week.
Tyler is tracking Hurricane Matthews for us. What do you have for us?
Well, South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley has already issued a state of emergency, which is prompting evacuations near the coast.
If you don't get out in time, you might actually get stuck. And I think that's worst case scenario, is to be stuck on the coast and have no place to go because you didn't meet the evacuation time.
As Matthew made landfall in Haiti earlier today, it brought with it severe flooding and very strong winds. The island is still recovering from a devastating earthquake 6 years ago. Today, the island saw winds up to 145 miles per hour, and forecasters say spots in the Caribbean could see up to a total of 3 feet of rain by the end of the week. The storm has already claimed the lives of at least 4 people. And as we take a look at our satellite and radar, you can see that storm is still down in Haiti and Jamaica at a Category 4 with winds at 140 miles an hour still. As we go through the next couple of days, here is Thursday at 2 p.m. It's still Category 4 just off the coast of Miami, and that's going to continue to move northward. By the time we reach Friday at 2 p.m., it's going to be a Category 3 just south of Jacksonville. As we take a look at our models, there's still some uncertainty about the exact track of this storm, but they all have it pretty much going right off the coast of Florida and then possibly making landfall at Myrtle Beach as a Category 3 storm. But this is already prompting severe our hurricane watches across the coast of Florida. This one goes in effect until Friday at 11:30. I expect over the next couple days the National Hurricane System Center will issue watches all the way up the East Coast. But back here in Arizona, we have really dry air in place. As you can see, this is the last 3 hours. No clouds or rain anywhere in this state, which makes it really comfortable, and temperatures will be really comfortable as well. We have 83 degrees here in Phoenix, 70 degrees up in Prescott, 82 degrees down in the Grand Canyon. Those temperatures are way below normal. Our normal for this time of year is a high of 93. Today we saw a high of only 85. This morning we woke up to 59 degrees. Our normal high is 70 degrees. As we take you through the rest of your day, getting home at 6 p.m., sunny skies with 81 degrees. It's going to be a beautiful night, so definitely get out, take a walk, spend some time with the family. 75 degrees with clear skies at 9 p.m. Waking up tomorrow, you may need a sweater. 64 degrees with sunny skies. Taking a look at the rest of the week, Tuesday, 84 degrees, sunny skies. Wednesday, 88 degrees. And as we take a quick look at your weekend, we get up to 94, right about average on Friday, but we stay 93 on Saturday and Sunday with clear skies. No rain in the forecast. Tyler Klaus, Cronkite Weather.
Members of the armed services represented the United States at the Olympics and Paralympics this summer.
And 2 of the athletes are from Arizona. Coming up on Cronkite News, a look at Olympians who are taking gold in much more than sports.
The confidence to lead our country.
This isn't reality television.
I feel like Hamilton reached out from history and wouldn't let me go until I told his story.
I make no apology for my actions. I would do the same again.
How we come so far and yet have so far to go.
Right there, coming up.
In 1920s Melbourne,
Careful with the hand luggage. My pistol's in there somewhere and it may still be loaded.
Phryne Fisher is a detective
Things could get interesting around here.
Thought they already were.
who isn't afraid to live a little.
I hope you're not concealing a dangerous weapon under that skirt.
I'm concealing a lot of things.
Why do you think you can just run off on your own?
Because I'm carrying a gun.
The irresistible series, Miss Fisher's Murder Mysteries.
Saturday night at 10 on Arizona PBS.
Hi, I'm Charlie Rose. As part of the Walter Cronkite School of Journalism and Mass Communication at ASU, Arizona PBS is providing a state-of-the-art venue for the next generation of journalists. From newsrooms in Washington, Los Angeles, and here in Phoenix, students engage in real-time, real-world news reporting, broadcast production, and online innovation. The Cronkite School and Arizona PBS working together in new ways to bridge the classroom to the community in the digital age.
"23 members of the armed services, including 2 from Arizona, represented the USA at the Olympics and Paralympics in Rio this summer. Cronkite News reporter Claire Caulfield was in the Washington, D.C. when the soldier athletes were honored.
It's a long way from Eloy, Arizona to Arlington, Virginia, but Army Staff Sergeant Joe Guzman said it was a trip that changed his life.
I was one of them knuckleheads getting in trouble, but here I am now standing in front of you. Sergeant First Class, 18 years in the Army, 2-time Olympic boxing coach.
He was among 16 Olympians, 4 Paralympians, and 3 coaches from the armed forces who all received praise for their dual service at a Pentagon event Monday.
These individuals bring the same dedication, hard work, and skill to their athletic endeavors that they bring to the finest fighting force the world has ever known.
A Paralympian from Prescott Valley, Sergeant Elizabeth Marks, dominated the 100-meter breaststroke this summer and received special recognition for her performance.
Army Sergeant Elizabeth Marks even broke a world record, winning the gold in her Paralympic debut. Let's give her and all of them another big round.
Guzman says he hopes all the achievements of Team USA inspire young people from his hometown.
Eloy, I just want to let everybody know that, with a positive mind, great attitude, anything is possible.
In Washington, D.C., Claire Caulfield, Cronkite News.
More than 70 U.S. Olympians and Paralympians visited the FBI headquarters in Washington, D.C. to learn how their athletic and educational experiences could be applied to positions at the Bureau. Recruiting Team USA members is nothing new for the agency. FBI Special Agent Jason Reed won a gold medal in the 2004 Athens Olympics, competing on the U.S. men's rowing team. In a statement, Reed said, "It was an honor to host fellow Olympians at FBI headquarters as they begin to research and consider new careers. The athletic passion on display at the Games in Rio can be directly applied to the shared commitment of working for the FBI and keeping our country safe."
Cronkite News is proud to be the news division of Arizona PBS. Here's what's coming up on Arizona Horizon and PBS NewsHour.
On the next Arizona Horizon, we'll hear about transit improvements in Phoenix thanks to a voter-approved plan, and best-selling author Lori Natero talks about her new historical novel on the race to be the first woman to pilot a transatlantic flight.
I'm Judy Woodruff on the next NewsHour special live coverage of the vice presidential debate. That's Tuesday on the PBS NewsHour.
That's it for Cronkite News tonight. Thanks for joining us.
For top Arizona stories anytime, go to cronkitenews.azpbs.org.